Would I be the a-hole if I took half my wife's business in our divorce? My wife, 58 female, and I, 64 male, are in the middle of a divorce. She doesn't want therapy, doesn't want to work on things. She only wants out, and right now she isn't even speaking to me. During one of our arguments, she practically screamed, "I'm done being civil." And in my head I thought, okay bitch, me too, though I never actually said it out loud. That moment stuck with me because it felt like a turning point. Here's where things get complicated. My wife owns her own business and does fairly well with it. She makes a little more than I do, but not by a huge margin. My lawyer explained that since the business is a marital asset, I'm entitled to half its value. To get that number, we'd need to do an official appraisal, but we estimate it's probably worth between $300,000 and $360,000. When this first came up, I was willing to let her keep her business outright if she agreed not to come after my Social Security and pension. In hindsight, that deal would have been heavily in her favor. The more I think about it, the more I feel like it would be foolish for me to give up that much value for nothing in return. She built the business, yes, but it was done during the marriage and supported by our shared resources. It seems fair that I'd be compensated for half of its worth, even if she keeps full ownership. I brought this up with a coworker, and she implied I'd be an a-hole if I pushed for half. I even asked her if she was just saying that because she's a woman. Sometimes gender bias does play into people's opinions, but she said that wasn't the case. Still, the comment stuck with me and made me second-guess myself. Edit: I'm not trying to destroy my wife's business or take away her income. The plan is that she would keep it, but I'd get half its appraised value from our other shared assets. I'd never do anything that jeopardized her ability to work or continue operating. As for why we're divorcing, there was a long breakdown in communication, which turned into a breakdown in trust. I came to believe she was hiding money from me, and from there, the marriage unraveled. So, would I be the a-hole if I insisted on taking half the value of her business in the divorce? Now for the top comments. You need to speak to your lawyer about Social Security. What you are describing is not how it works. If you are married long enough, her benefit may be determined based on yours, but your benefit is not impacted. Social Security benefits are generally not considered a marital asset. I am assuming you're in the US. Maybe he meant pension or 401k. It sounds like he hasn't talked to an actual lawyer the way he's discussing the divorce. There's a lot of misunderstanding on Social Security benefits. My mom swore she got half of my dad's after the divorce too, thought she was taking it from him, and gloating because she thought she was sticking it to him. I wouldn't read anything into this kind of statement beyond it being a person who does not understand how the Social Security system works. You can file it in the same category with people who don't understand how tax brackets work, and that the higher percentage doesn't apply to all of your income. My sister got half of her ex-husband's business after an appraisal to determine its worth. You are correct. You are married and are entitled to half. As far as Social Security goes, she does not get half of it. Her benefits may be adjusted based on yours, but it doesn't affect what you get. Yes, you're the a-hole. You don't get to punish someone just because they don't want to be with you anymore. Do you think threatening her is going to make her fall in love with you again? That ship has sailed, my friend. I am curious, though. Why is it punishment if I'm legally entitled to it? This is a genuine question. The way your post was written made it come off as you were being vindictive. Not in a "I contributed to half of this business, and so I'm entitled to a portion of it." This post is illuminating. Reddit would never respond this way if the sexes were reversed. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not serving stepkids dinner and ruining it for everyone? My partner, 45 male, and I, 30 female, have been together for just over a year. We've known each other for about 3 years total. We currently live together. We moved in early as my lease was up, and although it was too early for both of us, we decided that's ultimately where we wanted the relationship to go. We are a blended family of 5 kids. We recently went camping where his kids, 16, 14, and 12, met a group of 18-year-old boys. His youngest daughters wanted to go hang out with a group of boys at night. The boys had been drinking, legal here, and were intoxicated when they left our campsite. My partner said no and was met with attitude, so I stepped in and said it was inappropriate for underage girls to be with adult men who had been drinking. I offered to go to their campsite with them, but they said no. Normally, I wouldn't put my 2 cents in. I'm very much nacho when it comes to each other's kids, but they were giving their dad such bad attitude, and we were just trying to enjoy our bonfire. The girls turned on me, yelling, name-calling, and being totally disrespectful. My partner said nothing, and I went to bed pissed off. I was only looking out for them and having my man's back, and I didn't deserve that. For the next 2 days, on a couple of different occasions, my partner and I talked about the issue. He said I should just move on and forget about it. I explained to him that I felt completely disrespected and that name-calling is never okay, especially from children. I told him I feel uncomfortable cooking, cleaning, and providing for people who call me a C-word and talk to me with such poor attitude when I'm only looking out for them. I made it perfectly clear I was done doing these things until an apology was in order. They had been at their mom's until last night. Last night I cooked a lamb roast, heaps of veggies, and the works as it was his son's 16th birthday. Throughout the day, I asked what was going on with the girls and reminded him that I wasn't cooking/cleaning for them. He said nothing. Well, dinner time comes, and we're all in the kitchen. I told the girls, like you said on Saturday, I'm not your mother, so it's not my job to put food on the table for you. I don't do favors for people who talk with such disrespect. All hell broke loose. His daughters started screaming, cursing and asking why I was still there, saying I should leave. My partner said I had upset his kids, picked a fight at dinner, and ruined it for everyone. He didn't have my back at all. I ended up walking away. He went to the opposite side of the house with his kids, and I went to the other end with mine. This morning we haven't spoken a word, but there's tons of tension in the house. I didn't think I was the a-hole for standing my ground about the disrespect while camping, but maybe I am for saying something at dinner? So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Why are you with this man? Her lease was up. Always a great reason to blend families. Honestly, your partner should have had your back. If he's gonna ignore the disrespect, that's on him, not you. You setting limits is healthy, not ruining dinner. He has called me names during arguments previously, and I've made it clear I won't be putting up with it. He hasn't called me any names in a long time. His ex, who cheated on him and is now remarried to her affair partner, has sent threats and name-called via Facebook Messenger, which I didn't see because it went to spam. When I did see it, I reached out an olive branch and said I didn't have any issue with her and it would be best if we could all get along. Now I'm copying it from the youngest kids. And I feel very strongly about ending the relationship due to everything I've put up with over the past year. I feel I deserve to be treated better. And yet here you are putting up with it again. Are you okay with your children seeing how you let others treat you? Apples don't fall far from the tree. The children learned that somewhere. Probably mom is trash-talking OP, and they see their father disrespecting her as well. Just an unwinnable situation all around. Next story. Am I the a-hole for blowing up on my husband because he keeps eating my emergency snacks after I've asked him not to? Today, I, 29 female, blew up on my husband, 31 male, for eating my emergency snacks that I keep for hypoglycemia episodes. I am currently 19 weeks pregnant with our second baby. During my last pregnancy, when they did the glucose test to check for gestational diabetes, they discovered that I actually have hypoglycemia. This made a lot of sense given the symptoms I experienced even before pregnancy. During pregnancy, it's much worse. I have to eat at least every couple of hours to keep my energy levels up. Even doing this, I sometimes get hypoglycemic episodes out of nowhere. They are awful. I get the shakes, start to sweat, get hot flashes, feel like I'm going to pass out, lose coordination, and experience brain fog. I keep a handful of specific snacks in the house and car for when I experience these symptoms. The insatiable hunger I feel during an episode is unbearable. It's like I've run a marathon while fasting. My husband is really selfish when it comes to food, to put it bluntly. He's always eating my leftovers, and if there's something we both enjoy, he eats most of it and leaves me very little. Now he's gotten into the habit of eating my emergency snacks. I even started buying double so he'd have his own, but he eats his so much faster and in greater quantities. If he finishes his and sees I still have mine, he eats mine without asking. I've had this conversation with him so many times, it's exhausting. I've asked him repeatedly not to eat my designated snacks unless he asks, but he doesn't think it's a big deal. Today I started to feel unwell, so I went to grab one of my snacks only to find out he had taken it. I called him at work to check, and he admitted he had because he was running late and needed something quick. I blew up on him. I'm tired from pregnancy, hormonal, and chasing around a toddler all day. Yes, we have other food in the house, but these snacks are specifically chosen because they're easy to grab and balance my nutrition quickly. It seems silly to be upset over food, but I'm exhausted from repeating myself. He always says he'll replace what he eats, but that doesn't help me in the moment when I need it. I yelled at him, told him not to talk to me when he gets home, and said he could figure out dinner for himself. So I guess my question is, am I the a-hole for being so upset over snacks? Hypoglycemia can harm your baby, and his desire for a snack does not take precedence over your need for one. In fact, it's incredibly selfish of him. I would show him articles on the effects of hypoglycemia on a growing fetus, not the a-hole. I'd make an appointment with your OB so he or she can explicitly explain to your husband what is happening with your body during an episode, the impact on the life growing inside of you, and the real potential of you hurting yourself, your toddler, and the baby if you fall, faint, get a dizzy spell, or blurred vision, etc. I'm not sure of the current info, but when I was pregnant, it could potentially lead to health complications for the baby, and it was very important to manage it to minimize the risk. If your husband really can't control his eating, he needs to see both his doctor and a therapist. Not the a-hole, not the a-hole, not the a-hole. Is he this inconsiderate and uncaring all the time? How did you get to marriage and 2 kids deep with such a useless person? Not the a-hole. I'm sorry you're bound to such an idiot OP. This is the only thing he's selfish about. He takes great care of me and our daughter. He helps with her 100% of the time when he's home and always helps with the house without complaint. He'll go get me whatever pregnancy craving I'm having, even if it's midnight. He took care of me in amazing ways postpartum, but when it comes to food, it's like he has blinders on. He's highly athletic, and it's like trying to feed a household of teenage boys to keep up with him. When he eats my food, he will come home with the replacement, but if he took the last of it before work, then I'm left without it when I need it. There are other things I can eat to bring my sugar up, but they don't work as effectively or quickly. Other people have mentioned sugar tablets or juice, which yes, I use in an emergency, but those are fast-acting sugars that can cause another rebound crash. The snacks I keep for my episodes are well-rounded nutritionally to bring up my sugar while stabilizing it. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she either gets a job or we're not adopting my late brother-in-law's baby daughter? So, my little brother-in-law, my wife's younger brother, passed away a while ago in a motorcycle accident. It was sudden, tragic, and I'm still heartbroken over it. I really did love that kid like a son. My wife and I are in our mid to late 40s, and I've been with her since just a few months before he was born. In a way, I watched him grow up. He had just turned 19 earlier this year, barely getting started in life. He was also a single dad to a beautiful 1-year-old girl. He had her with his girlfriend at the time, but she decided she didn't want to be tied down with a baby at 18. She signed away her parental rights and walked away. My brother-in-law, though, stepped up for his daughter. He really impressed me with how responsible and dedicated he was to raising her. For such a young guy, he showed a lot of maturity. Now that he's gone, my wife wants to adopt our niece. Honestly, deep down, I do too. The idea of her ending up in the system or with strangers breaks my heart. I'd like nothing more than to give her a loving home and keep her close to family. The problem is, financially, I just don't think we can handle it. My wife has always been a stay-at-home mom, and I've always been the sole breadwinner. We already have 3 kids of our own, and adding a baby to the mix would put an enormous strain on me. We're not doing great financially as it is, and the thought of one more mouth to feed and all the extra costs makes me lose sleep. I told my wife that I'd be willing to adopt her niece, but only if she'd agreed to get at least a part-time job to help ease the financial pressure. That way, we'd be making this decision as a team, but she flat out refused. She insists that she needs to stay home to raise our kids and look after the household, especially since our youngest still needs a lot of attention. When I told her that without her financial contribution, we just can't realistically adopt, she got furious. My father-in-law actually understands where I'm coming from and agrees with me. But my mother-in-law and my sisters-in-law are siding with my wife. They're calling me selfish and greedy, saying that family should come first no matter what. I don't feel like I'm being heartless. I just think it's unreasonable to expect me to carry all of this alone. Am I being unreasonable here? Not the a-hole. It isn't that you are being heartless. It's that you simply can't afford another child. If it's that important to your wife, she can work. You didn't say it had to be full-time, but something to help pay the bills. That isn't asking too much. My husband works a lot of hours and does some traveling for work. His hours allow me to work part-time doing something I love. I am able to contribute financially and take care of our house/family. If it's so important to the in-laws, they can help support the child. She should be able to collect from Social Security from her father as she's still a child. That might help with her support as well. We don't have that survivor things over here, and we're already struggling as it is. Adding another child, much less a baby that needs formula and diapers, will definitely hurt us a lot. Your wife is being logical and using common sense. If your wife has a baby to take care of, in addition to her other children, then she would not be able to work due to needing to take care of the baby. Daycare costs more than many jobs, and you would lose money if she worked part-time and put that baby in daycare. I would still recommend to adopt the baby, but save money in other ways, such as stretching out your car payments, getting less expensive car insurance, and shopping at Aldi's for groceries. I'm already stretched out and we're barely making it. Just last month, I went 2 days without food so my kids could eat. Not the a-hole. My friend, I'm sorry for your loss first and foremost. I think your decision is realistic and responsible. If your mother-in-law and sisters-in-law feel so strongly, ask them to pool resources to help financially and get it in writing. I mean full above-board legal documentation, saying they will supplement your funds and allocate time to helping raise the baby. Opinions and arguments mean nothing if they aren't followed through on. If they can't step up, then they should shut up, not trying to be rude or offensive but firm. I hope it all works out, and that little girl gets exactly what she needs and wants in life.